Have you ever had the feeling that you feel like you're the only one going through so much financial trouble? Well, guys, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the 10 money stats to let you know that you're not alone and the things that you can do to overcome it. And a lot of these stats I fell victim to. So the first money stat is 67% of people live paycheck to paycheck. And I was certainly one of these people that were in the 67%. I actually feel like the number is probably a lot higher. See, my reason and most likely your reason as well is a lot of times, guys, lifestyle creep just comes up and it just hits you. Every single time you get a raise, you increase your lifestyle because we have this vision of where we should be in life and we're always thinking in the future. So every time we get a raise or a bonus, we want to live in that future. The problem with that is you continuously chasing a lifestyle you cannot maintain. So this is what I really had to do. I had to sit down and do a budget. I like to call it a reverse budget. What I did was I paid myself first. I try to get in between the range of 10 to 15%. A majority of the times, I was within 10%. And with that 10%, what I did was I started to build a small emergency fund. And with doing that, I recognized that I can't live on less than what I make, which is a key principle when it comes to finance. Now, doing this is really, really important because if you live a life of paycheck to paycheck, you continuously going to spend it and you're never going to start to doing the things that you need to do in life, which is building that cushion. There's a reason why we live in paycheck to paycheck. And the main reason is because of you. You can't trust yourself. You really need to try to circumvent yourself because you're not going to be able to overcome this on your own. Now, the second money stat, and it might not come to a surprise to you, is the average credit card debt is $7,321 per person. Now, there will come a point in your life where you will accumulate credit card debt. And the pivotal moment is, what are you going to do with this credit card debt? Are you going to let it linger and fall into the minimum payment trap and continuously making just the minimum payment and watching all that interest just build, or are you going to attack it? And right now, with things being so ridiculously crazy in society, people are continuously adding more and more debt just to sustain the lifestyle they have or simply just to keep on living. But check this out. I'm not trying to beat you up for having credit card debt. We all been there, we all done that. But you certainly need to understand that interest rates on credit cards now are above 20%. What you're doing is you're paying to keep yourself continuously into debt. So what should you do in this situation if you're here walking around with credit card debt? Guys, there's so many options. And to be honest with you, you could pick whichever one you want. There's an avalanche method, which is paying the credit card with the highest interest rate first, paying that off. Once you pay that off, then you go to the second highest. Or you could do the Dave Ramsey snowball effect, which is paying off the smallest balance. Once you pay that off, then you pay off the next smallest balance. Now, to be honest with you could do a mix of both. You could do credit cards that you hate. Maybe you bought something from your ex, and every time you make your payment, it reminds you of that. Pay that off first. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a system in play where you pay off your debt, that is critical. And setting this up to have it done automatically is even better. Because when you pay off that one credit card, it is so freeing and it makes you feel like, you know what, you could do it. And then you could go on your way to building wealth for yourself rather than building wealth for credit card companies. The third money stat is nearly half of Americans have $500 or less in savings. This is a stat that I'm continuously hearing, and it's really sad and unfortunate that it's remaining that way. I understand it's really difficult now for people to try to get ahead. And once again, I'm not going to beat anyone up because a lot of these money stats I was a part of. But trying to at least get $500 in your savings account should be extremely easy. Take a look around your house. I'm pretty sure there's things that you don't use. For example, you probably got a bike or you probably got a treadmill during COVID, and right now it's just a hanger. Set it. Voila. Right there, you'll get close to $500. You can spend 1 week or 2 weeks doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, Instacart, all of that in order for you to get at least the minimum of $500 saved. Because this is the reason why the $500 mark is extremely critical. Every little thing that happens in your life will become a catastrophe, a major event. And you cannot allow yourself to continuously slip right back down into credit card debt and living paycheck to paycheck and getting overdraft fees. Because shit is going to happen in your life. You will have emergencies, and the more you have on the side, the better it will be. The bar is set so low, $500. Just imagine, if you get to a $500 mark, you are doing a whole lot better than the majority of people right now in society. And what I did was I treated saving like a bill. I had to pay it every single month. So I made sure I set aside 10% of my income and put it directly into savings. And also what I did was I did a whole bunch of side hustles, and all that money that I accumulated, I put it on the side for savings. And in the future, I just shifted that around and put it towards debt. And then just set it and forget it. Do not think about it. You will get tempted to touch that money, especially if you're not disciplined. Make that money go to a high yield savings account, and do not think that's an emergency outfit fund or emergency vacation fund. That is strictly for emergencies. The fourth money stat is US credit card debt hit $1.17 trillion. Hello, everyone. America is in debt. Every household is in debt. People using credit cards are getting into debt to get a burrito, to get coffee. Everyone is just swiping their credit cards and living a life of misery. And then people wonder why they're living paycheck to paycheck. Well, all that hard work that you're doing, instead of going into the market and investing, instead of going to your emergency fund, all that money is going to the credit card companies and making them rich. So now when you see this money stat, you should recognize a lot of people you're comparing your lifestyle to are people who are most likely living a life of debt. Not everyone is living a life of debt, trust me. But have you ever had that friend where you're like, what? I know what to do for a living, and I don't know how the hell they're going on vacation and buying all these things in life? Well, now you know. And when I was in credit card debt, I was obsessed to get out of it. There's a lot of articles out there that people say, take a look into your account once a week or 2 times a week and check out your cash flow to see where your money was going. I was obsessed. I didn't care if I had $30 extra in my account. I took that money and put it towards credit cards. Now, I would admit, I was psycho and I was stressing myself out, but I really wanted to get out of credit card debt. And you need to have that same fire, that same commitment to get yourself out of it, because getting into debt by far is the most easiest thing to do. Getting out of debt is extremely difficult. And the fifth money stat is 21% of Americans have zero emergency fund. Now, if you have no buffer, that's always going to equal to high anxiety and less options. And 21% of Americans having no money in the emergency fund just cannot happen at all. You would remain stuck in a rut and never get out of it, and every slight thing in your life would be an emergency. $0, guys. We can do better than that. Now, there's a few things that you can do out there, and I'm gonna tell you what I did. I created 3 accounts. One account was for my checking to pay all my bills. My second account was to put savings into, and my third account was for investing. As I said earlier, I took 10% of my income and I made sure I automatically moved it into my savings account. Voila. Once you do that, that's it. You're out of the 21% range. Now you're in the, what, 79%? Yeah, 79% range. And when I talk like this, guys, I'm not trying to say it's really easy. I've been there before. I've been through bad financial situations where I felt like I'm stuck. But trying to get from 0 to at least $100 or $50, it's not that difficult during these times where there's a whole bunch of side hustles out there that you can certainly implement in your life. And I know there's some people out there that say, you don't get it, you don't understand. No, I do get it. I made so many excuses as well to why I was in debt. And a lot of the reasons was because of my choices. I got apartments I couldn't afford. I had a car I couldn't afford that got repoed. There's so many things that I did in my life to put me in the position that I'm in. You might not want to admit it right now, but you need to have a deep conversation with yourself and recognize these are the things that you're doing and you need to fix. Because really, no one is going to save you but yourself. Money stat number 6 is only 1 in 4 Americans invest regularly. This stat doesn't surprise me much. I know a lot of people out there have so much fear of investing, or they're just struggling right now financially because they have so much debt that they put investing on the back burner. And that is a horrible idea. You see, the earlier you start investing, and it doesn't matter about the amount of money you put in, that is to your advantage, because time in the market is better than timing the market. And let me tell you a story about what happened to me, because when it came to investing, no one told me anything about investing. But once I got my first job, they mentioned the 401k. And I heard, well, 401ks I heard is a good thing. And they automatically enrolled you to 2%. So I said, yeah, 2%, that was good enough. Listen, man, I was married with a kid. I'm trying to figure life out. I did not have no time when it comes to investing. And that 2%, guys, that I did within my early 20s, magnified within 5 to 6 years to damn near $10,000. Now, my mind was blown. Now, first of all, I did get a company match for that 2%, but my mind was blown. I recognized, wait, if I put additional money into my account, how much more can I make? And that's when I really got serious with investing. I recognized that investing in the market is going to be a lot better than me just working a 9 to 5. So the moral of the story is you need to start small, even if it's $20 a week. People always think you need to be extremely rich to invest, or it's like a secret society that only the wealthy people know about. It's not, guys. It's Fidelity, Vanguard, Robinhood, all these broker accounts. You can open it and buy an index fund, an S&P 500 ETF or mutual fund, whatever. But this right here is extremely critical for people to get into investing. There is no entry barrier. Anybody can start at any time. I said earlier $20. I don't care if it's $5. You just have to start. The seventh money stat is average Americans spend 4 hours a day on social media, but 5 minutes on finances. Really. The ironic thing is everyone goes on social media and complains about how life is so hard and how they're struggling, how everything is unfair, but they don't even spend 5 minutes on looking at their finances. This is not to say that things are not hard right now. It is. A lot of people are getting layoffs. The cost of living is really expensive. I get it. But please listen to me. 5 minutes a day on your finance and you're wasting all your time on social media, that doesn't fly. Now, unless you're going to tell me those 4 hours you're spending online is to get some motivation, which, yeah, whatever, you're not. 4 hours of social media is way too long. You could take 4 hours a day to work on your side hustle, 4 hours a day to learn AI, 4 hours a day to leverage your skills to make more money at work. You cannot continuously think you're going to get rich just looking at stuff in social media, which, guys, that algorithm will destroy you. If you scroll more than you grow, you're going to remain broke forever. And this is not to say social media is not good. Social media has a lot of good benefits to it. I'm not going to lie. But 4 hours a day is too long. At least reduce that to 2 or maybe less. I understand a lot of people love to get entertainment from social media, but split that in half and take the other 2 hours to just review your finances. Find better ways for you to learn how to save, invest. Learn all of that first, because if you're here messing around with your financial literacy being at a 0, you should spend no time at all in social media just having fun. You are right now on a red alert that you need to understand finances. And the 8th money stat is 41% of buy now, pay later users missed a payment last year. You see, buy now, pay later feels extremely harmless. 4 easy payments with no interest. Perfect. I had $100. I was on buy something that cost $100, but I had this little option at the bottom that said I could pay $25 bi-weekly, and in 4 payments, I'm done. Who is not going to do that? It feels harmless, right? Well, until you miss a payment. Then when you miss a payment, you get smacked with all these fees, and then your future paycheck is continuously being robbed simply because, well, you cannot delay gratification. Buy now, pay later, guys, in principle is not a bad thing. Yeah, I'm saying that. It really isn't. The way the system is built a whole lot better than credit cards. I'd rather have someone make 4 payments and be done with it than be trapped in the credit card. But that's the problem when it comes to buy now, pay later, is the psychological aspect of it. A lot of people start using Afterpay, Klarna. Everything in your life now is all about borrowing from the future with 4 easy payments. And even though buy now, pay later doesn't feel like a credit card, you need to mentally treat it like a credit card. You only use credit cards when you know you could pay off the full balance. And that's exactly the way you need to use buy now, pay later. If you cannot afford to pay for these things, guys, stay away from it. And to be very honest with you, if you're really good at using credit cards, which a majority of society is not, but there is a segment of people who are, then use your credit card to get the rewards and all the points, and then you pay off the balance. Buy now, pay later gives you none of that. And the number one thing that I noticed as well with buy now, pay later is it ruins people's budgets. People never, ever, ever put in their budget what they need to pay for their buy now, pay later. They never do. What they say to themselves is, well, this week I just won't eat out. And saying I will just eliminate things in my life and not writing it down in a budget is not the proper way to handle debt. You need to put it in your budget if you are going to use it, because you need to be really, really careful. This is dangerous borrowing. The 9th money stat is $1,200 per year is wasted on unused subscriptions. You know what everyone always tells you? Put everything on autopay. That's the best thing to do. Well, these companies do understand that once you put something on autopay, you will forget, especially if you don't have a budget. You need to take a look and see exactly what's coming out of your account. It happened to me. It happens to so many people. Sometimes I have stuff on Apple Pay and all I see is $9.99 Apple Pay, $15.99 Apple Pay, and I would just, well, leave it. And that is the worst thing to do. Because a lot of these apps, like for example, Peacock did it recently, they jacked up the prices and you will not know because you're getting it withdrawn directly from your account. You need to sit down and look at your monthly statement and see exactly which subscriptions are being deducted from your account. You will right there save money because most likely there's so many apps that is charging you that you're not even using their service. So go ahead and take a look at any subscriptions you have and cancel it. Because listen, if you're able to save $100 a month from canceling all those subscriptions, you could put that money into investing. And that $100 a month in 20 years with an 8% return would give you $60,000. Really, it's just that simple. And the 10th money stat, which you already knew this was about to happen, the average car payment tops $750 a month. America has this huge fascination with cars. We all need to get to work, go from point A to point B, but no, we need to have the most fanciest, nicest car. It can't be older than 5 years, and to me, that is ridiculous. It's just a car. I go to work to make money. I don't spend all this money to go to work. Makes no sense, but America is in love with car payments. But as long as you're continuously right around with a $750 a month car payment, man, you are cooked. Because on top of that, if you get married, you have another person in your household, now with 750 times 2, that's $1,500 a month you're paying on your vehicle. And yeah, let's not forget, you also pay for car insurance, you pay for gas, you have to pay for tolls, certainly will be paying for registration. And to make matters even worse, the average cost of a mortgage in America is $2,200. You're damn near almost paying for a mortgage. And once again, I'm not trying to beat anyone up because I did have a car payment 10 years ago that the payment was $599. And you know what your boy did? He said, hell no, let it go and get repoed. Because all I was doing was working to just maintain the status of that car, and I couldn't afford it. And I had to admit to myself, I can't afford this car. My credit doesn't get ruined, but at least my life would get back to some normalcy. I got rid of it, bought myself a hoopty. That's the past. I moved forward from it. Now I'm in a whole lot better situation with paid off cars. Because now I drive with purpose, not with pride. And I drive something that's reliable and gets me to exactly where I need to go. And let me give you a little bonus about a money stat that I've learned. The average millionaire saves 20% of the income, while the average American saves 5%. We certainly need to do better than that as well. The main goal is you want to get to at least 15 to 20%. And this is not something you could just do overnight. You do it slowly and gradually. Every quarter, you raise that percent by 1 or 2%. Don't make any drastic changes, and you would see getting to 20% will not be as difficult as you expected. So you have it, guys. Those are the 10 money stats that you certainly need to be aware of. And I also give you guys the solutions or ways to avoid falling victim into those traps. And also, if you're new to finance, guys, please check out my template in my description and my bio. I have it where it's 100 financial terms and also the 100 debt terms that you would need to understand in order for you to get better with finances. Check it out. It's really interesting. At the same time, guys, if you like this content, please take the time, hit the like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Catch you all on my next video. Peace.